All right, it's on. Ready to start? Welcome to episode 125. This episode of TLC, we talk about animals, human trafficking, board shopping, and Anton steps up his coffee game. I'm Al Flores. Anton, how's the quarantine life been? hmm Yeah. hmm So, so, so Martha's been asking me, at what point did Julie start showing? Because she's like, oh, is her tummy growing? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't seen pictures. Because I know this because there's several. Probably it's probably harder for you to tell because you see her every day, but because there's some pregnancies where women seem to like progressively get bigger over the course of weeks, and there's some that like they don't show until the last 3 months, and then all of a sudden, boom, watermelon under the shirt. Okay. Yeah, adjusting. I would hope so. Well, and that's the other thing too. You and Julie aren't very social. Like you guys don't post as often as you used to say 6 years ago, but you do post stories every now and then. Yeah, you're in the moment. That's why. Okay. You say boom, but there it goes. There it goes. So this is 33 weeks. That looks almost fake. Yeah, yeah. It looks also. It kind of looks like those stretched, not stretched out, but poorly done panoramic shots where like the person like accidentally tripped or like jolted their hand as they were panning. That's cool. So I mean, I think the a recording schedule you really have maybe one more episode before the movie comes. Uh, okay, because our next recording date is 4/23, and I didn't schedule another one because I knew we were getting close. So I think we play that one by ear. Okay. Oh, they're surprisingly comfy. Actually, let me test this out. Does it muffle my voice enough, or should I just take it off? Okay, cool. I'll just take it off because I can't attach it. No, I like them. I thought that was gonna be kind of weird, but the elastic band is thin enough, but also strong enough to like it stays snug and it doesn't bother me. And the material is thick, but at the same time, it doesn't. I don't feel like my breathing is constrained in any way. So I like them. I'm surprised by it. Yeah, right. The ones that they need to dispose of it. So that's the big difference too. It's in LA too. They put it in the they made it mandatory starting tomorrow on April 10th. Uh, citizens of LA have to wear some sort of covering when they're going out public. But yeah, that's the annoying part too. I see people, put on the face mask and take off the face mask, but they do it wrong. They are grabbing the face mask itself. They're not taking it off properly. They are adjusting the mask, taking it down to like talk or to do something, and then they put it back up. It's it's really bad. And then like I saw my girlfriend, like, this is why at first the CDC was not recommending gloves or masks because people don't know how to use them. And same thing with the gloves. Like besides there being like a litter problem right now, where like people are seeing just random gloves on parking lots and all that, the fact of the way those gloves are tossed away tells me that they don't know how to take it off. There's a specific way you have to take it off where you don't accidentally contaminate yourself. And so, yep. Uh, you take one. The proper way is you take one off, and then you keep it bunched into in the glove that you still have on, and then you slide in one finger or two underneath the elastic of the second glove, and then pull it off from the inside. So you're never touching the outside with your bare hands. And then the other part, the dumb part is you're still touching your phone, your clothes with the gloves on. So even when you take them off, guess what? You're still contaminated. Right. Yeah. These aren't surgical grade. Hmm. Yes. Hmm. Well, and also yeah, and also get mixed effects or body readings. Like they can have a allergic reaction to it, and they might confuse the symptoms with what they truly have. Yeah. Plus they look cool. Yeah. Yes. Something. Right. Yeah. Right. Hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like 7-Eleven. They're open. They qualify as essential not because they're 7-Eleven, but because they have things like toilet paper. They have like soaps. They have deodorant and stuff like that, like hygienic stuff. So that's what you guys are doing. You guys have done what other companies are doing and shifted your focus towards um, stuff to help with the pandemic. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Well, I would imagine it's more handy for people that are stuck in a specific area, say like checkout clerks at a grocery store or something like that, that they can't step away to wash their hands regularly. No, yeah, those supplies that I mean, you sent me the link to your company's website. Um, my dad appreciated it, and Martha's family appreciated it. Martha's um mother, well, sister-in-law's mom. I don't know how to make that connection. Sister-in-law's mom made them homemade masks because she's very crafty uh, and good with like sewing machine, but they were not comfortable. The elastic was hurting their ears, and it looked good, but it's not very breathing. I can tell right away you're gonna have struggle breathing because it's very thick material, and that fabric was not made to um, for breathing through. The Yeah, no, no, I mean, it's just to say it looked nice. It's just not comfortable, and the practicality was not there. But I mean, thoughts out. I did have one friend that said her mom was learning how to knit the mask, and I thought that is the worst type of sewing you can do, or like crafting you can do to make these masks, because that is yes, might as well just put like a fishnet over your face. But I guess the mom was doing it more as a hobby than anything. So I'm like, all right, well, as long as you guys are doing other things besides using those, I think you're good. But that's scary. Yeah. Is which they're not doing right. Yeah. Uh oh no, that was that was going back to my biology class in college where you had to mix certain solutions to get the right concentration. So say you're mixing a type of acid, but you only want calm down, K-pop star. So you're mixing like an acid, but you want it to be only a certain amount, a certain strength. So you have to dilute it till it's at that exact percentage or that exact strength or pH. Sorry. Um, yeah, there's a formula to do. Like pretty much, you're balancing out the two uh, concentrations, which in this case, adding water to the alcohol, which is 0%, to what was the highest one? 99% alcohol, 90%. Yeah, like 90% alcohol. Like how much of the 99% do you have to put into uh, how much of the 0% alcohol, which is the water, do you have to put into the alcohol, which is 99%, to balance it out to at least 70%? Um, and well, 70%, 60%. 60% is what we landed on, right? The minimum. Yeah. Yeah, because the thing is, if you mix it poorly, now you diluted it too much, and the alcohol is not effective. Hmm. Yes, that one is. Yeah, that one we do have a shortage of is hand sanitizer. Yeah. Well, I got my hand sanitizer right here. No, this is I went to Total Wine, and they had the Crystal Head vodka, but they finally made it in the sample bottle for size, so I decided to get it. I do the big bottles are expensive as hell. I want to try it, but not for that price. But however, this is only 40% alcohol, so it wouldn't be effective. I haven't heard of that shortage. Okay. Have have you gone to have you gone to Mexican or any, I guess your area would be Puerto Rican or Cuban grocery stores yet? Oh, okay. They're just trying to get rid of it. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of random things are have been sold out. Okay. Mhm. Yeah. Well, you gotta I mean, if you wanna make a good omelet, you have to whisk the crap out of the eggs, so yeah, you have to be good at it. Yep. Yep. Actually, I have been seeing on Instagram, that's before we start recording, I told you I've seen that. I haven't tried it. Um, I'll pass. She is a coffee lover. Yeah. Eh, yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll show it to her. At the very least, like you said, it's a very grammable picture to take afterwards. So I'm still going to the grocery store. The supplies have started to kind of balance out now. Um, there's actually produce now. Regular eggs were a problem. They're kind of coming back now in some grocery stores. You can at the very least you can go before noon and still find them in grocery stores. Uh, I have let me see. The coffee is back in stock again. Regular coffee that was gone for a while. I guess people knew they were going to stuck indoors for a while and they wanted a little pick me up. Uh, Pasta is still kind of scarce, but it still comes up every now and then. Yeah. Instant noodles is coming back though. That's slowly. Only the weird flavors now though. The just like the strange combinations are there, but at least they're slowly making a comeback. Toilet paper is starting to make a comeback a little bit, so it's not too bad here. I'm just trying to limit my exposure at the grocery store. But it sounds like you guys have it a little bit worse with toilet paper still. Have hmm Yeah, I did see that. Some cost. I think it was in something Louisiana. I forgot what it was, but like they showed the inside of the Costco before they opened. They had all the carts lined up, and they all had one bundle of toilet paper in each one. So as people were coming in, they just handed them a cart. So that way they had one pack, and that's all they were gonna get, and then everything else is just normal shopping. Yeah, things have bounced out here because they put a lot of restrictions on how many you can buy of item that how many of each item you can buy. I don't know if Costco's new policies across the United States or just in California, but Costco put that policy. They will not be accepting returns on toilet paper, water, or hand sanitizer. Um, and other kind of companies have started following suit. So I think the people that are panic buying are starting to like back off now, knowing that they're not going to make a profit. And I think yep, they're stuck with it. Yep, yep. Square footage, yeah, man. No, Martha has though. She liked it up until they started forgetting certain items, and then she had to report it. Mhm. Like they just mix up your groceries for somebody else? Oh, okay. Yeah. They're mhm. Okay. Mhm. Well, all the Dollar Tree 99 cent store are great stores right now because they get shipments so regularly. Really, they're prepared for this type of scenario. Like they, yes, yeah, no. Martha's a big fan of buying produce at the 99 cent store because they come in, comes in. She knows the days of the week they come in, and they're perfectly ripe. They're ready to eat, and she's a big fan of that. So she likes her bananas very ripened. But I'm not a fan. I like a little bit of green on my bananas. So Anton, let me see here. Well, first off, I want to give a little shout out to one of our friends. You remember Crystal Hijazi that we went to junior high with? She has been doing kind of a fitness thing the last couple years. I think she's been trying to get sponsorships and all that. But during the quarantine stuff, she has been posting, really easy to do or good workout routines to do at home. Some of them are just your own body weight. Some of them are dumbbells. Others are resistant bands. So I personally have been doing the insanity workouts at home. But for those that are trying to stay active during this whole quarantine and staying safe at home stuff, go ahead and check out Jazzy Fitness on Instagram. JAZZIIFITNESS. Good workout for us. Yeah, she actually, if you look on the comments or the caption for each post, she marks how long it would take. I think some of them are 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But really, she's showing you the technique, and then the rest of it is like you just do your sets. Yeah, yeah, like yeah. Meanwhile, the training I've been doing lately is drinking. uh, I got Maui Brewing Company's pineapple manna wheat. So it's delicious. It got me hooked on. I miss that water. Actually, I still have it in my car. All right, I thought. So go ahead. Well, my family, I mainly keep in contact through social media. So either, yeah, so Instagram, Facebook, uh, really just me posting regularly shows that I'm still alive and well. But yeah, like I'll call my mom and stuff like that to see how she's been doing. I don't know if I told you, but she almost got stuck in Mexico. She was over there. So sorry, burp. She was over there and she was gonna be there for another week or so, and then they made the announcement they were gonna shut down the Canadian and Mexican borders. So they had, I think, 2 days. Two American citizens had 2 days to get back to the United States, or else they were gonna be stuck out of the country. Uh, well, 2 day, or 3 day, well, just because it shut it down. So they don't want travel back and forth. So they pretty much said, as of this date, we're not taking any more travel from these countries, either driving or flying. So if you are an American citizen and you're in this country, get your butts back before this date. Um, so luckily she made it, but so she was coming back, say Friday. She could have gotten a flight on Friday. But she was also in Mexico to pick up a dog that she adopted, and the flight did not have space for an animal. So the next closest flight was a Sunday, which is the last day. And my mom's like, "Yeah, I got the flight ready. The dogs got their paperwork. We can bring them over." Uh, I'll call you when we land in LAX, and then from LAX she was gonna drive to Arizona, where she lives.
Oh.
So she was just trying to make sure that she was trying to make sure that everything was still up and running. And I
Mm-hmm.
told them like LAX is open, clearly because they wouldn't book a flight to LAX if it wasn't open. I wasn't sure about the rental car thing,
Mm.
and she was like, "I'll call you when I land, and then I'll call you again when I arrive at home." I'm like, oh, "Okay, cool." Monday comes, and my girlfriend asks, "Hey, how's your mom?" I'm like, "Huh? She never called me." And then Tuesday, my brother comes over and he's like, "Hey, have you heard from mom?" I'm like, "No, I thought she called you." And he goes, "I thought she called you." So right away, like I try to call her, make sure she got home all right.
Uh-huh. So did she
Yeah,
get
so
home
it's
all
just
right?
fun. Yeah, she got home all right. I think it was just such a long journey, like dealing with the airport, probably crowded because it was the last day, landing in LAX, and then trying to get a rental car to drive to Vegas where her car was, and then from Vegas driving to her home in Arizona.
Wow. What a
So
journey.
I'm like I don't
Yeah.
yeah like I don't blame her
Yeah.
like she had a long ass journey. I don't blame her for that. But yeah, so that was crazy.
Yeah, so
But
the dog never ended up going, or
yeah, she brought the dog home. She
okay,
showed me.
how big is the dog?
It's relatively small. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
can't.
So she could
Yeah,
put him in a kennel and put him under seat, right?
well, no, it was like a I was like a labradoodle
Oh,
kind of thing,
okay.
that
Right.
size.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, kind of like a big terrier, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah,
So it's a
so
fairly good sized dog still.
yeah, so for me, I was using Zoom. Have you used Zoom before?
No, but I've been seeing a lot of posts about it.
Yeah,
I know a lot of
some bad
companies
things
have
about it.
adopted it.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, companies adopted it, schools have adopted it, and oh my God, the school one. I feel bad for students now
hmm. Yeah.
because people have
So,
no etiquette.
yeah. So, I've been using Zoom to communicate with the rest of my family in California. I got cousins and stuff. We basically just Zoom, like the whole entire screen is like filled up with like different homes, and we're just having a blast. We're just talking about stuff, and you can play Pictionary on there, which is kind of cool. You play Hangman, and
I've seen the background stuff too.
yeah, the background stuff that you can do on
Yeah,
your Mac. But
yeah.
in this case, Zoom. Yeah, and then
Hmm.
all that Zoom bomb that's going on, where, like you said, in a classroom that they're trying to have online, someone can go into the classroom anytime and just like Zoom bomb it, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Not even Zoom bombing. It's there's even
it's
a
a
meme
big
about it.
security problem with
Yeah,
that software.
which is probably why my company isn't using it.
Hmm.
Uh, we just use conference calls, and we don't deal with video conferencing.
Hmm.
At least not outside. In the office, we have like those Cisco conference cameras set up and all that conference room set up, uh, for conference room to conference room. But if somebody's working at home, no video conferencing.
Yeah, this is such a new company, and I don't think they're moving too fast, too
Hmm.
early. Yeah.
They saw their opportunity and they had to move fast for it.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I started
All right,
using
Anton,
Zoom last year for business, but that's pretty much it. All right, let's move on.
for, for business purposes.
Yeah.
So well, I was gonna say this is under my quarantine life
Hmm.
item, but I'll add this to my random purchases. So I picked up. We talked about the impact theory a couple episodes ago
Hmm.
during Comic Con,
Hmm.
WonderCon, sorry, WonderCon
Hmm.
last year. And I interviewed the founder and CEO of Impact Theory for when they were releasing the Steve Aoki uh,
Neon Future.
collaboration,
Hmm.
Neon Future. They did a free bundle release a couple days ago, where you would get a free copy of Neon Future and also a free copy of another comic book series called Hexagon. You just pay for shipping. I think it was like $4, $5.
Hmm.
So I was reading those, checking them out. Uh, I'll skip over Neon Future because we've talked about that before. But Hexagon is a collaboration with DJ Don Diablo,
Hmm.
and Michael Marucci,
I love
Marucci,
Don Diablo.
MOR.
He's really good. I like his music.
But so I'm starting to see a trend with Impact Theory. Like they seem to pick up either musicians or artists, and then kind of work with the creating of a world that they've imagined.
Hmm.
So Hexagon, it takes place in the 1980s. A kid named Don. His dad has banned him from playing any kind of arcade games. Uh, big foreshadowing about what happens in that first episode,
Yeah, sure.
issue. His friends drag him to this thing that the local arcade was having called All Night Gameathon, which is pretty much a pizza party at an arcade all night,
Yeah.
late at night. Where his friends pushed him to try a game called Crucible, which is, how can I put it? I guess like Galaga. It's like
Hmm.
you're just like a pixelated spaceship, and you're trying to fight giant monsters.
Okay, so not Destiny. Okay.
No, no, not like that. I mean, it's the 1980s. So everything's pixelated.
Yeah.
And yeah, so spoiler, a little bit of a spoiler. He beats the popular game on his first try or his first quarter because we're in the 1980s.
Hmm.
And then beating that game has triggered an alien invasion in which Don is sucked into the battle, and
Yeah.
his father knew about it.
So it's kind
All
of
this is in
like
the first
the
issue.
book Armada.
Armada. It's kind of like Armada, The Last Starfighter,
Hmm.
Ender's Game, kind of
Hmm.
in a way. It's, I mean, not the most original story, but the art was nice. I like it, and it's like a fun story.
Hmm.
So I mean, I'll check it out. The good thing about some of these issues with Impact Theory is they have standard pricing for the prints,
Hmm.
but they have free digital copies for a lot of their issues. I think most of the Neon Future series is free to
Hmm.
download.
Oh, that's cool. Hmm.
Yeah, so check it out. I think I only read the first issue of Neon Future, so I'll probably go back, and now that I know it's free, go back and check out the other issues for that one.
Hmm.
All
All right.
right.
So enough of that. Let's get into news. No.
Well, actually, one more random purchase.
Okay.
The Theory 11 deck.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I have that one
Yeah.
right
So
here. I
yeah,
have a
so I
couple
picked
of
up the
them in there too.
I picked up the Neil Patrick Harris Theory 11 deck. Very awesome art. I get why you were such a big fan of this brand.
Hmm.
Uh, Even my brother, who's not really much of a, he's not into Magic, he's not into cards. He picked up the deck and he just opened it up and he's like, "Holy crap, these feel really, really nice."
Hmm.
And he was digging the art, and I liked it so much that I picked up the Star Wars, the blue deck, and
Oh
then the red
yeah.
deck is somewhat,
Hmm. It's made by them too. Yeah.
yeah, yep. So yeah, it's Theory 11. Dig it. It's definitely something you need to feel for yourself and see the art up close to appreciate.
Yeah.
All
JJ
right, it's on
hooked them up
30.
to get that done, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yep, yep.
Hmm.
All right, Anton. Damn it. No, I'll skip over that one. Let's get into news, Anton.
All right. News time.
Just so much going on. I mean, it's kind of hard to keep things moving here.
Hmm.
First story here is Stewie and Brian podcast. So for you Family Guy fans, be happy to know that the creator and the voice of many of the characters, oh my gosh, what's his name? McFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane. I'm like Steve McFarlane. I'm like, no, that's not right. Seth MacFarlane did just like a random podcast as the voice of Brian and Stewie on his Instagram and posted up online. It's very funny. If you go to our social media, I posted some of the clips from it. People have been digging it. I hope he does another one because it was made me cracking up. They had call-ins from Peter and Quagmire, and they behaved exactly the way you would expect. Did you
Yeah.
check it out yet?
Yeah, it's really funny. um, it kind of reminds me of what John Krasinski is doing right now too. He's doing SGN, which is
Oh,
like some good news.
some good news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Posted some of those clips too. I you know what, I appreciate what John Krasinski's doing because it is nice to see some appreciation for the people doing good out there.
Hmm.
So that actually, I watched it hoping it would just be him being goofy and a smartass, being a Jim.
Yeah.
and then I appreciated the stories he covered, and yes, he was also goofy and being a Jim.
Yeah. Did you see the second one yet?
No, not yet, but I did see
The
the
first one
cast
with
of
Will
Hamilton.
Ferrell? Oh yeah, yeah. That's the second one.
Yeah, I'm just saying I did see that the second one had the cast of Hamilton, but I
Hmm.
haven't seen the episode itself yet.
Yeah. So after seeing that second one, I think you should go see Hamilton. It's so good. You have to go see it.
Were they using Zoom? I saw the
Yeah,
screen grabs
yeah.
and
They were using Zoom.
oh God.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah. So if people want to check out Stewie and Brian podcast clips, they can check out on our Instagram. So what's up with Sonic?
So this is just a quick announcement. So like many of the movies coming out or that came out not too long ago or were planning to come out, Sonic is now available on digital. I think it's traditional rental prices.
Mm-hmm.
But to piggyback off of something we talked about last episode, I was right. Onward is available on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like they did uh, a rental or like a digital rental for a couple of days or maybe a week or two,
Mm-hmm.
and then they released it on Disney Plus. But it's still, if you don't have Disney Plus, it's still available for rental in other places.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I will probably be
It's a
checking out
cost
this
of a
weekend.
rental, which is crazy. Why? It's a no-brainer.
Oh, Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for real? It's like what? I forgot. It's $7.99.
Yeah.
6.99, 7.99. I forgot what it was, but it's super cheap. Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I showed my girlfriend. Oh my god, what movie was it? Damn, blanking out. I don't know. I'll think of it right now. I had it for a second and it left my mind. Next story here. HBO is now free, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
So HBO Go, HBO Now has a free version or free shows and movies on where you don't need a subscription for it. It's select movies and shows, but it's a good way to catch up on some of these shows or movies that people have talked about. I mean, it's kind of weird because since you don't have an account, it doesn't save your spot.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, beggars can't be choosers. It's free.
Yeah. I have an account with him. I'm watching Westworld right now, season 3. It's very confusing. It's not at that point where your mind is fucked yet. But
Not there yet.
not. I mean, somewhat. I mean, I guess you can call it foreplay.
Mm.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
It's
Dude,
teasing you.
talking about Hamilton, there's that show, His Dark Materials, which is based on Golden Compass. It stars Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah. I forgot. I heard in an interview they were promoting it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you talked about it too in one of our other episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think it's on the list of free, but I'll double check.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the only real notable one I saw on there was Detective Pikachu, which rewatching it, Ryan Reynolds is still freaking hilarious. That one scene where Pikachu's walking down the bridge, singing the original Pokemon theme song.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and I just remembered. So I showed my girlfriend the rebooted Star Trek movie, the first one,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of test her. She passed the Star Wars test,
Mm-hmm.
and she loved Star Trek. It took her some getting used to. I kind of had to give her some background as the movie was going on, but she got into it. She dug it.
That's good.
Yeah,
It's kind of cool
she liked both.
to see that. It is a reboot, so it's a good place to start for new fans.
Yeah, she was kind of confused about why Leonard Nimoy, or why he said it the way she said it. Wasn't that guy from the other show?
Heroes.
I had to explain to him like, huh? No. The Leonard Nimoy, like coming back as Spock.
Oh.
I had to explain to her. I'm like, this is them trying to reboot it, but not reboot it. So the way they got around it was they pretty much said the original show still happened, but now we are in a different timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So different. I'm like, it was a very strategic way of not pissing off the original fans, but also giving a fresh start to new potential fans.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, so yeah, dug it. I'm probably gonna have her check out the other shows, the other movies too, to see how she digs it.
Hmm.
And then finally here, our last news story, the Purge Siren. So the police in Louisiana use a siren to sound when the curfew started. Once the curfew starts, do not go outside, stay home.
Hmm.
Uh, However, the siren they used sounded suspiciously like the signal for the Purge in the movie The Purge.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah,
Especially for
I
people who've
posted
seen that movie.
yeah, I posted it on our social media. Thank you, IGN.com, for grabbing the audio. It is. I'm surprised there weren't any incidences, because if there's a crazy enough person that saw the movie and was waiting for shit to hit the fan, they
Hmm.
hear that sound, could cause some problems. But yeah, so Louisiana police have stopped using that sound,
Hmm.
probably for the best.
They should use something like the Star Wars hangar sounds and stuff, the emergency sounds.
Oh, sorry. I was about to do it, but then I realized that was the Star Trek attack sound.
Yeah.
That was fresh in my mind.
Hmm.
All
All
right,
right.
Anton. Did I miss anything?
Nope. Let's get into streaming.
All right, streaming. All right, Anton. So last episode, I talked about that I wanted to check out the show Motherland,
Hmm.
Fort Salem. A little bit of refresher. It's about an alternate timeline where the Salem witch trials never happened, and witches were actually, real. And as the country developed and grew, witches became part of culture, and to the point where the military has a branch of the military for witches.
Hmm.
I saw the first episode, and it is surprisingly intriguing. I
Mm.
thought it was gonna be cheesy. Me and my girlfriend were kind of making fun of it, like the concept of it. And the first scene is, how can I put it? Okay, so like any or sorry, not any. A good way to get a country to go to war is through a terrorist act, right?
Hmm.
That's something that happened 9/11. Uh, it, you know, th- Being attacked kind of unifies the country and stuff like that. So in this one, it was a terrorist attack, but it was a witch terrorist attack. What happened was a witch went to to a shopping mall and just kind of did some magic, and people just started jumping off the second floor, dropping, just killing themselves. And I mean, pretty much, if it wasn't for a witch, you would assume it was like a biological attack
Hmm.
or a chemical attack of some sort. So that kind of gets the military up and running. That there is a threat and they need to go to war. This follows three witches. So I guess each squad, instead of the traditional military squad, the squad is actually made up of three witches, the leader, the healer, and the seer, and they work in units. It's not bad. You know what? I went to the show expecting it to be super cheesy, uh, Hogwarts with a military uniform instead of robes,
Hmm.
and I came out going, I kind of want to see where this is going. I like it. I mean, for this being, I would say ABC Family, this is a freeform. I'm It's surprisingly dark, but without crossing too many lines, and I'm kind of curious to see how far this goes. Good budget though.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask you. And so it actually looks pretty decent, and it looks like they did put a lot into the first episode.
Yeah, it looks decent. The fight scenes aren't great, but then again, they're really relying more on their magic.
Hmm.
There is some scenes where they're controlling the weather, levitating. It's I'm kind of curious to see maybe they use their budget on the first few episodes to grab people,
Hmm.
but so far it's surprisingly well budgeted and good effects. So kind of
Hmm.
curious to see how it is.
Cool. So is
Yeah,
it does it come out every single week, or is it one
yeah.
of
I
those
think it
two?
comes out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it comes out every Friday. I've been watching it on Hulu.
Mm, okay. Cool.
Yep.
All right, so I just finished catching up on the second part of Seven Seeds. I think I've talked about this before. Quick refresher: Seven Seeds is about, kind of like what's going on right now with COVID-19. So in this Seven Seeds is all these people around the world are getting sick and people are dying slowly. So they basically built this giant bunker underground. It's kind of like a theme park basically with like lots of hotel and everything. People are living down there waiting for everybody above to pretty much quarantine, and by the time that they can go out and start living again. So over
Mm-hmm.
time, all the governments from all around the world are basically putting together a secret program where all these people are training to basically hibernate for
Okay.
like I think 100, 200 years or something like that. And then when they come back to life, they start to repopulate the world again. So basically, the people that were in that bunker, everybody died because there were some people that were spreading the sickness inside that bunker.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, they had to maximize their time by getting these people in these secret programs to basically hibernate as soon as possible so then they can prepare for the future. So then, sometime 200 years in the future, these people are coming out, but they're coming out as different segments of groups. So there's a summer group A, summer group B, and autumn. So there's like different teams of different groups where they spawn in different areas and they
Mm-hmm.
start to pretty much survive. They would have a leader in each group that knows how to survive really well.
Okay.
And this is
Uh,
200 years later, so a lot of things happen
So
on Earth.
the title makes sense now why
Yeah.
it's called Seven Seeds.
Hmm.
It sounds a little bit well, the first part sounded like a little bit like like Red Mars, the book Red Mars,
Yeah.
and then the second half sounded like the show The Hundred. I don't know if you ever
Hmm.
saw that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, Same thing. I mean, I kind of interested. Is this animated
Yeah,
or is
it's
this
anime. It's anime.
okay?
It's very dark. It's not
I
the
bet.
traditional anime like Naruto or something. It feels very Akira. You seen
Okay.
Akira? Yeah, so it's kind
It's
of
been a
like
while, but
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I highly recommend this if you're into like Walking Dead. This one really focuses on each character. Everybody is different. Everybody's there are some people that are connected somehow. Um, like they have a love interest or something, but they got split up, stuff like that. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, and everybody has their own stories, and when you think you have like a favorite character, something always happens to them, just like you know.
Don't get attached. So it's
Yeah,
like The Walking Dead. Don't get attached.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of cool. I kind of like this. This is very interesting.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So other than that, I checked out Star Wars Resistance, and that takes place during the three movies that came out recently. So it's kind of cool. It's a story about pilots, resistant pilots, and it coincides with stuff that's going on in the movies. So you would
Okay.
see BB-8, you would see Poe Dameron, and you would see um, General Leia Organa. Yeah, she
Okay.
has so many
So
titles. I'm trying to get the right one. Yeah,
so this is pretty much the resistance before Ray joined them, right?
a little bit before and during. I think it's
Okay.
at the part where I'm at right now. It's during because Poe picked up BB-8 to go on a mission on Jakku. So I think that's
Okay.
the mission that we see in the first movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Where
yeah,
he went to go get data from that
hmm,
one person.
yeah.
Hmm.
So it's kind of cool. You get to see a lot of BB-8 in the very beginning on the first season. Second season is where it starts getting into the movies.
Cool.
So yeah,
How many episodes so far?
I think it's only two seasons right now. I think
Okay.
each season has about like 18 to 20 episodes or something like that. So
Okay. So really good length. Are they like 20-minute episodes or 40?
they're 24 minutes. I'll tell you
Okay.
what. I don't that the main character and the animation it's so shaded. It's
Hmm.
different than the last two previous Star Wars shows. Um,
Okay.
I don't really like the character, but he grows on you. Like you have to really watch it and keep going in order to appreciate the characters. And I
You
think
get
that was the same
attached.
thing with Rebels too. And then at the end of Rebels, I'm like super attached to the characters. Like I care about every single one of the characters. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Cool. Disney Plus.
yeah. It's on Disney Plus.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Dig it. Okay, so I'm gonna skip one of my shows here. I'm gonna go on to Silicon Valley season 7. This is one of the shows I was checking out on the free HBO. Last year, I saw the first 6 seasons, but my membership ended or my subscription ended before season 7 came out. So I'm using this opportunity to catch up. And I don't know how to talk about this without spoilers. All I gotta say is the name Pied Piper is
Mm-hmm.
very appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know the rhythm of the seasons in the show, the ending is no surprise. One thing I have to point out though is they really tried hard to hide Kumail Nanjiani's muscles. Uh, I think the first episode they showed him, uh, with in a polo shirt, and it made no sense. Especially because I watched the last episode of season 6 again to catch up. He was like not scrawny, but he had no muscle definition. And then come first episode of season 7, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Come the first episode of season 7, all of a sudden he's all jacked.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know why, it's because he was training for the upcoming I mean, whenever it's going to get released, but the upcoming movie, The Eternals, for the MCU. And it was kind of distracting to the point where I think after they filmed the first episode, they realized we need to cover it up. So going forward, he always wore a baggy long sleeve or a windbreaker. Like he was never in a short sleeve ever again. And I think it was kind of funny. Um, but yeah, so I mean, if you're a fan of Silicon Valley, I think this is a very appropriate ending for the show. Um, it is a very while humorous, very realistic view of how things work in the tech industry, both the good and the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the people just trying to profit, make a quick buck, not really caring about technology. The people that are really passionate about what they do but end up suffering. Makes me, as much as I want to be a rich Silicon Valley person, I think I'd be too stressed to ever enjoy it.
Yeah. So
So yeah, so check out. Oh,
okay.
go ahead.
So since you watched it, how did you feel about Eric Bachman leaving the show?
I felt it was. That's one thing I don't want to talk about, but I'll just say I felt very teased throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
They kept talking about him. I knew um, that the actor left uh, for numerous reasons, both what the issues with the drama behind the scene. Um, no, I think that was pretty much it. Just drama behind the scenes. Actually, and also he he got arrested for a potential terrorist threats when he said there was a bomb on the train or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's when HBO used as an excuse to finally fire him.
Uh huh.
Um, I was really hoping that they would bring him back at least for the last episode, because again they kept talking about him, they kept referencing him, they even said where he was,
Mm-hmm.
and then nothing. So I don't know. If you're looking for some closure for that character in that season, you're not going to get it really.
Yeah. I mean, at least they kept Jin Yang.
I will say Jing Yang very, very much blossomed this series or this season.
Yeah.
He was kind of a background character in the other seasons, and
Mm-hmm.
then this one he really took that front row seat and really milked it.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be in that the new show with Steve Carell, Space Force.
Yeah. Space Wars. Yeah. He's in the
Yeah.
control panel. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't add it to our list, but there were some screen grabs from the upcoming show that they posted on social media. I probably posted it on ours, so people can check it out. It looks interesting. It looks more sitcom-y than I was expecting,
Yeah.
more goofy than I was expecting, but we'll see.
All right. So new date on Eternals has been released 5 days ago. It is going to be February 12th, 2021.
So almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year. There's a
Yeah.
whole bunch of other movies that they got official dates for now. But yeah, I still think it's too early. But some of the ones I'm looking forward to is Bob's Burger. That's going to be April 9th,
Hmm.
2021. And then May 7th for Shang-Chi.
Yeah, a lot of these movies are just up in the air at this point. Yeah, some of them are in position now that they have a tentative release date depending on how the movie theater thing goes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think right now the AMC is targeting a June reopening date,
Mm-hmm.
but really I don't think that's up to them.
It's not, it's not realistic. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, some of these movies are still up in the air. Like I think the New Mutants, that one does not have any release date. And that is going to be the fifth rescheduling or fourth rescheduling.
Probably fifth because it's been like 3.5 years.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was originally scheduled and then it was pulled out for editing and then it was scheduled again and then the Fox Disney deal went through so they pulled it out
Mm-hmm.
and I think this is definitely the fourth one. I think this is gonna be
Mm-hmm.
the third date and then through no fault of anyone other than this virus
Mm-hmm.
gets pulled out again from theaters. So a
Yeah.
month before release, right? It was supposed to come
Mm-hmm.
out
Mm-hmm.
this month
Yeah.
or April or this month or in March.
I think it was supposed to be in April.
Uh,
Yeah.
April.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie is cursed.
Mm-hmm.
I blame COVID-19 on New Mutants.
Yeah. All right. So enough of streaming. Let's get into our last segment, gaming.
Cool. All right, Anton. I picked up this new fangled game called Animal Crossing New Horizons. I think you picked it up too.
Yeah, I picked it up too. I haven't touched it.
You haven't touched it?
No.
It is exactly what I was expecting. It
Mm-hmm.
is a lot of task work,
Yeah.
and you kind of zone out.
It's kind of like a
I
Second
will say,
Life.
kind of.
Yeah.
So for people that aren't familiar with it, you go on a vacation to this deserted island, and you help develop it by building homes, uh, looking for documenting the species on the island, the fish, the bugs, um, and the plant life. And then you also, gather resources to build items that you either use to decorate your home or you sell to make money. It is very, very zen. I can put it that way. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exactly thrilled when I'm playing it,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also very relaxed while I'm playing it. I will say this is a very cutesy way of of hiding or cutesy way of showing human trafficking.
Human traffic.
Because okay, you sign up for a vacation, right?
Uh-huh.
You're going on a resort.
Uh-huh.
You land on the island only to realize there's no resort, and you are actually asked to help build the resort. And oh, by the way, they're charging you for the vacation still. Don't worry, you can pay us back by doing work for us.
Yeah.
I was feeling like, I know that kids, maybe even teenagers, won't see this, or
Uh-huh.
like they'll just see it like it's a weird concept. As an adult and seeing some dark documentaries, this is human trafficking. This is like kidnapping somebody and then taking them across the border, shipping them from another country, and then telling them, you owe us this much money. You can work it off through prostitution, and then once you earn enough money, we'll give you back your passport or whatever.
Wow. They should rename
Yeah.
this game Tijuana, the game.
Hence, well, I'm sorry, dude. Asian countries do it too.
Yeah.
Don't. This is why the headline at the beginning of the episode was animals human trafficking. Because you are a human, but all the other characters are animals,
I
and
know.
you're the one that gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, so check it out. I'm curious. I haven't really interacted with anybody because I don't know who else has the game. I'll probably
Hmm.
post it on social
So this
to get
game
friends.
alone is the reason why the Switches are out of stock at stores.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think right now the only kind of Switch you'll find is the Switch Lite.
Hmm.
And
That's
even
what
then,
a
that's
lot of
kind of
people
hard.
are getting too because they just want to get a Switch. Yeah.
Well, I think the first pick was the original Switch
Hmm.
because since you're in quarantine, you kind of want a family system.
Hmm.
However, if you don't give an F about the other people in your home and you just want to play the game, then yes, the Switch Lite is a nice option to have.
Hmm.
But yeah, those are also scarce. I think there was only out of like the five targets nearest to me, only one of them had a Switch Lite, and then the others would get them the next week. So I don't know.
Hmm. Hmm. All right. So Modern Warfare Battle Royale. So
So
you played it?
no,
Okay.
and I'll tell you why.
Uh-huh.
It is a fucking big game.
Oh wow.
Did you see the screenshot I sent you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's taking up
Uh,
your whole entire hard drive.
yeah. So normally for games that we've downloaded, I think the highest I've seen is 40 gigs, 30 gigs around there.
Mm-hmm.
Either on that I've downloaded from a digital copy or that I've installed from a CD.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this game is over 100 gigs,
Whoa. Wow.
but yeah, that's insane. Look at this. Look at the screenshot I sent you. I think it was estimating anywhere between 6 hours to 10 hours to install. So I paused it because I knew it was going to finish before we started recording, and I'll probably just leave my Xbox on overnight. Hopefully, it's done when nobody's using any bandwidth in my house.
Wow. Is it possible to get a physical copy of this game, or is it only for download only?
I think it's only for download, but the thing is, it's free.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
That's what sold me on it. I know we talked about it last episode. That was kind of eyeballing it because I wanted the battle royale gameplay,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm loading up Xbox to watch Hulu, and then right there in the ad it says Modern Warfare Battle Royale free, and it looks badass, dude. I recommend you look at the trailer. A lot of it's kind of cinematic and just for you know how Modern Warfare likes to do kind of a movie-ish style to their trailers. It's not like real gameplay all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks fun as hell, and the weapons, the way you can kill people, it is Call of Duty. It gives you a lot of different variations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Personally, I was more PUBG than
Fortnite.
Fortnite. I saw the logo. I couldn't think of the name. Uh, than Fortnite. Were you more Fortnite than PUBG, or are you PUBG more than Fortnite?
I'm PUBG
'Cause-
more than Fortnite, but I
Okay.
do like Fortnite. It's just that so many kids are on it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So I like PUBG because it felt more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the two downsides was at the time, it was very limited. The weapons and the graphics were limited because it was free and it was a beta.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other part was the actual feel of the weapons. While
Mm-hmm.
I liked the touch of being able to, when I'm sniping somebody that's far away, I had to lead them ahead. I
Mm-hmm.
had to lead my scope ahead of them to kind of match their speed. It never really felt good. Like it never felt right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about Modern Warfare because I think we talked about it last episode. Modern Warfare got weapons right. You get the recoil right, the feel right. I want to play PUBG with Modern Warfare weapons. So I'm excited for this. I really want to try it out. I'm hoping we can try it out this weekend if we
Mm-hmm.
both have time.
All right, so for our last topic, Resident Evil 3, I'm not going to talk about it that much because you just reminded me of something that I would like to talk about instead. But Resident Evil 3 takes place after Resident Evil 2, duh. But the new rendition of it, the new remake, basically, of the game. And it's kind of cool. Like, it looks totally different than the old game. I mean, it's based on the old game. I think this is it's more of a prequel to Resident
Mm-hmm.
Evil 3. I mean, Resident Evil 2. They're just telling the story of how like these characters in the game who work on a task force for the police called Stars, and the second Resident Evil is basically uh, based on two characters, Leon and Claire. And then this one is based on Jill and Carlos. So basically, like how Jill and Carlos was already there uh, before Leon and Claire. So, anyways, really awesome game. If you're a big fan of Resident Evil series,
Mm-hmm.
it looks really fun. And I've just been watching videos of people playing it online because I don't really have time to play, but it looks really cool. So, anyways, this other game
Oh,
I want to talk about. Go ahead.
I'll pause before we leave Resident Evil. I did see, I think it was IGN or one of the gaming uh, companies reviewed put up an infographic of the entire Resident Evil franchise from the very first one in like, PlayStation
Mm-hmm.
1,
Mm-hmm.
to current, and they put the scores for each one, and they showed that the game started declining in score, and then when they started remaking these games, the scores climbed up because it seemed like they learned their lesson, they knew what they got wrong, and they just they re-released it again and got it right.
Yeah, it's pretty solid, dude. The
Yeah,
story's good, the writing's good, the motion capture, the acting, yeah, everything's spot on. Like it
yeah.
felt like if it's better than the movies. Yeah,
Oh well, I mean,
yeah. All right. So, anyways, there's this game I want to talk about. It's called Valorant. Valorant. Uh, it's made by
Val.
Riot Studios. Have you heard of Riot Studios?
Uh, I might be thinking of it of an actual gaming equipment. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's
It,
Valorant, and yeah, so it's made by Riot Games. They make games like League of Legends,
okay.
probably the biggest game in the world. Um, we don't play it. Yeah, so Valorant is kind of interesting. It's kind of a crossbreed between Counter Strike and Overwatch. And
Okay.
at the very beginning of the game, you buy your weapons, you buy your powers and everything. So there's like a buy screen, like you know how like you go in Counter Strike, you press B, whatever, and you pick your guns with a bunch of buttons. That's what it is at the very beginning, and then as you start playing, it's like Counter Strike because if you die, you have to wait until the next round, which is not cool, but
Mm,
that's just how that game is.
so
But
it's
anyways,
elimination.
yeah, so elimination. And the cool thing about this is the reason why I say Overwatch is because you can have like different skills and stuff like that. And it's kind of like the ultimates that you use in Overwatch, you can use in this
Okay.
game. So it's kind of cool.
So
Uh,
is it what I mean, one thing we like about Overwatch is that you don't really you level up, but your level really has nothing to do with your abilities or anything like that. It is, you can just pick up the game from the start and you can be as good as some of the best people in the gaming world, or
mhm.
not gaming world, but in that, in your division. Is it the same thing with this one, or do you have to like level up your character?
I think it's pretty even. And the cool thing about this game is it's free to play.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think this game's gonna be super popular. It only started going on beta testing like 2 days ago, but it's a closed beta, so I've only been watching like clips and stuff like that. It looks pretty cool. A lot of people do like it. A lot of people don't like it. There's little ups and downs. I think it just all depends on what fixes they're gonna do before the actual game comes out. And one of the big reasons why people didn't like it is because you don't spawn back right away like most of the games that you play now, you know. So if you
Mm-hmm.
die, that's pretty much it. You have to wait until the end of the. But that's the same thing with like PUBG and stuff, though. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So there you go.
Um, I think I mean free to play seems to be the thing now.
Mm-hmm.
And then just make money off the in-game purchases or season passes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wonder how many more companies are gonna be jumping on board, or if this is gonna be a fad that comes and goes.
I don't know, but their motto at Riot Games is basically you pay money to buy costumes for your character.
Yeah, it's more cosmetic stuff.
Yeah, they don't charge people for upgrading your armor or something Apex or anything like that. This
Hmm.
one is just strictly just costumes. So they make their money by doing selling tickets at sponsors and stuff for the events.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Cool, cool.
All right. So I think that wraps it up for this week.
Yes, it does, Anton. And if people want to keep us free, but maybe they want to buy some in-game or in-podcast items, how can I do that?
They can do that by going to our website at www.the2oc.com/. I'm just kidding. There's no slash after that. It's just the2oc.com. Yeah, and maybe buy a sticker, t-shirt, a hat, and there was something that we talked about on the show. Could be purchased from any links that go straight to Amazon, and it gives us a little kickback.
Yep, yep, yep. You can also follow us on social media at the 2OC on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating. That helps us a lot. That is, if you have no extra money to spare, that is the best way or the best option to help us out, because that does move us up on the charts.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also email us at mail@the2oc.com if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for us.
Cool. And also, this week's podcast is also brought to you by Audible. Sorry, I lost my place. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/the2oc. There are over 180,000 titles to choose from, and you can use it on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. I don't know. Oh, yeah. I did read something about Stephen King saying that he's sorry for writing stories.
Pause that. There is a podcast I listen to called Night Attack, where they do a segment called "Apologizes For," where they have a Google alert search, saved with the phrase "apologizes for," and then they do a game where they say the name of the company and that they're apologizing, and the people have to guess what they're apologizing for. So you saying Stephen King apologizes reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah. The book that I think a lot of people are trying to refer to is called The Stand, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's on Audible. Yeah, it's basically like about a million casual contacts links to like a chain letter of death type of thing.
Oh,
So that's what people were trying to refer to. Yeah.
got
All
it.
right.
I would recommend Ender's Game, since the kind of reference to the comic book Hexagon that I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little boy gets to save the universe from an alien
No,
invasion.
you just play video games. What are you talking about?
The video game is his universe. Come on, Anton. You mean to tell me when we do Overwatch missions that is not us saving the world?
Oh yeah, that's true. We are saving the world.
Yes,
All
we
right.
are. We're Overwatch.
All
All
right.
right, Anton. Is that it? We're good?
Yep. That's it.
Another show ready for launch. All right, Anton. For the 2OC, I'm Al Flores.
And I'm Anton Duong. See ya.
See you guys. Stay safe.